Good morning. It is 10 o'clock straight up. Dave Globin, Boogie with the Bull, Morning Caffeine, the Friday edition, the Red Friday edition to be exact. We're in red today. That's red as in R-E-D. Remember, everyone deployed Friday. Bill Muckler taught us that. And if you get a chance and you're watching Facebook at 4 o'clock Eastern, go to the Bill Muckler Facebook profile and take a look at the Bill Muckler Show. You've heard me and everybody else talk about his 2020 books. Go to 2020americabook.com, 2020americabook.com, and take a look. And I suggest you buy the book, you read the book. Everybody suggests you buy the book and read the book. I can tell you that in listening to Bill when he wrote the book 15, 20 years ago, I don't know how, but he knew what was going to be happening in 2023. And it is not pretty at all. We're looking at a terrible, terrible, terrible fire in Maui, and I don't get it. Part of the island is safe where all the multi-million-dollar homes are of the elite. Oprah Winfrey has a home, and everybody has a home on Maui, and maybe it was a land grab for more homes and who knows what. When Haiti went up and we weren't sure what was going to happen there, I said, well, why doesn't everyone like President Trump and all the other hotel chains that have casinos? They're going to move in. They're going to get the land cheap. Hopefully they'll put people back to work. Well, I don't know what will happen with Haiti. There's going to be a land grab. There's going to be a land grab. What's going to happen with that land? I can't tell you. I wish I knew. I wish everybody knew. Melinda Brown Fortney is with us. What's the name of the book? The name of the book is 2020, A Clear Vision for America. And I believe the companion book is A Clear Vision for Our Future. And if you go to 2020americabook.com, 2020americabook.com, you can read up a little bit more. If you go to the Bill Muckler Facebook page, I was going to flash this on the screen while I did that. If you go to the Bill Muckler, no, it didn't save. If you go to the Bill Muckler Facebook page, Bill Muckler, Muckler, and you go to the Bill Muckler Facebook page, you can read more about the book as well. Great books. Like I said, if you read the books, you will find out that he had an idea a very long time ago for America. Bill is a retired Marine captain and just a very knowledgeable guy. So if you read the books, maybe Bill should be president in 2024. I don't know if he would want that job, but go watch the Bill Muckler Show Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, here on Facebook and on a few other places, but you'll be able to watch it here on his Facebook page, and you will learn a lot. And as I said, good morning to Melinda and anyone else. Edward L. Hudson, my friend. Good morning, Edward. Pleasure to have you watching. You're more than welcome. I appreciate it anytime. We did make a change this morning. We're not going to run the broadcast live on the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk public group. The reason is that if you don't go to StreamYard.com/Facebook before, then you come up on the screen as Facebook user, and we have to try to look around at all the different monitors on the desk to try to figure out who you are. So it's just a lot easier if we go live on Facebook on the Dave Globin profile. That way I can see who you are and you can see who I am. And if you watch on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, excuse me, If you watch on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, I will be able to see you as well, and you'll be able to be a part of the chat. The YouTube channel's been there for, I don't know, it's been there for a long time. There's 42, 43 Boogie with the Bull broadcasts that you can watch and subscribe and share, just like all of those other big boys and girls that you see on Facebook every day who say, go to our page, subscribe to it, and share it. Well, same thing. Go to our Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, subscribe to it, share from it if you wish. And if you don't, I fully understand. I'm not going to get mad at you either way. I'm never going to tell you what you have to do. Just give you some ideas on what I might like you to do. It's never been about the money with YouTube, and the only way to get the money is if you get 1,000 subscribers who have watched 4,000 times. Randy Rhodes was supposed to come join us this morning. We're going to have an open topics broadcast where anybody could bring up anything, but Hawaii and Maui is still going to be in the news until they figure out what they're going to do with it. The fourth indictment on President Trump is still going to be in the news. I was reading before the broadcast that he decided not to share the earth-shattering news on how he thought all of this could be dismissed against him, and has decided to let his lawyers handle it in a series of legal briefs and other legal documents. And I don't know if that's going to be better or it's not going to be better. And Randy Rhodes has just gotten into the green room, and now we have him. I apologize for that. Security didn't let me know that you were
Yeah, I mean, your security is about as good as Biden's. I mean, my God, they directed me. I was walking down to the doorway to get in, and they said, "No, this door." I said, "No, it's supposed to be that door back there." No, it's this door up here. So I got out of the hedges, out of the grass, and picked myself up, and cleaned myself off, and I came in right entrance. So yeah.
Well, they tried. They informed me that you were trying to park in the handicap space, and I forgot to tell you that the handicap space at the studio was available this morning because my wife Donna is working, and that's what happened there. So I apologize, but
yeah, the limo you sent me was great. It had some hot coffee. I had some Danishes in there waiting for me to eat for breakfast. So I appreciate the limo. It was really great.
Do they have a reply card for all roads lead to home genealogy services? That's right, people. If you're looking for a history of your family in 15 minutes or less, Randy can go back 5 generations, and if he doesn't find out that you're related to royalty, then you just got to have him keep going to generation number 6 through.
Yeah. There's this teacher. The guy was he's born in Canada, but he's living, I believe, is in Tennessee now, and he's a teacher. And he was so overwhelmed by what I was able to find for him, especially the Canadian history of his family, that he's talking to the administration at the school to try and allow me to teach one class of genealogy for the students there. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. Hasn't been decided yet, but let's see what happens. It'll be great, kids. I know that he said that the students are excited. He already has a couple of guys who are going to volunteer their families. And I said to David Cooper, the teacher, he's on Facebook, by the way, if you want to check him out. But I said, please, I have no problem with doing the kids' genealogy. Just make sure we got a signed, paper from the parents to do that. Because, again, you never know what I might find about your family.
You never know what you might find about their families. Yep. Now, will this be, are they going to bring you down to Nashville like you said, or is it just going to be?
It's going to be remote.
Okay.
It'll be remote. Yeah, I'm. My traveling days are over. Um, I mean, I would love to move to a southern state because they always say that a warmer climate is better for people who have arthritis and bones like mine. But the other half of my family says, no, you need to go by yourself. And I'm
Yep.
not quite ready to break up the family.
Edward L. Hudson says, "Howdy there, Randy. Good to see you."
Hey,
He watched you when you were traveling the circuit, doing all of the Facebook broadcasts, and then we went Hollyweird, and
no, no,
I
no,
don't know
not.
what happened there.
Well, as you know, up until what, well, 4 months ago, I couldn't do live broadcast because whenever I tried to share my dual monitors, I lost the integrity of the signal and it would break up and it would sit there and spool. Or if I tried bringing on a guest, a lot of times I try to bring on Jen and they'll just sit there and have all kinds of issues. So I had I have Comcast Business and they're not cheap. I'm
No,
paying $247 a month just for 600 megs of internet speed. But they were out, God, at least a dozen times trying to find out why I have integrity, and then they saw it. I mean, they were here, and I tried to do the broadcast, so they saw where it was dropping out. They just couldn't figure it out.
yeah,
Finally, someone said, "Well, we got to replace your computer. Maybe your computer's too old." I said, "Well, that's nice, honky dory fun, but computers cost money." So I was very fortunate. About 6 months ago, I brought on 4 new clients, reoccurring clients. So I bought this new computer. It's a gaming computer. It's designed for high-speed games, and boom, that was the answer. I needed a new computer.
yeah.
I started doing some broadcasts, but I am busy doing things for I have 5 clients now.
Yeah.
Plus, I have other people who just have questions. I hit a brick wall. Can you help me? And I do things like that as well.
Yeah.
But then I had the thing with the Southern the Sons of Confederate Veterans. I got the Southern Sons Association. So I've been busy, but I'm trying to get my face back into the screen. We'll see what happens.
All right. And on that, what's the news of the world today? Any updates on Hawaii? Any updates on?
Well, the thing with Hawaii is, as you and I have been discussing, it is a land grab. The governor's coming out saying that they are condemning the land, and the government of Hawaii is going to come in, swoop up the land. They're going to try and kick out to evict the residents who are still there. I was just looking earlier, and the local government won't allow tourists back in, even to the area where it's not affected, because the retailers there, the people who live there and live off tourism, they're struggling,
Yeah.
and they have shut off the inflow of people. I also saw, and the videos I mentioned are people who live there and are talking firsthand. Okay, and this one guy was saying how he and his family were trying to get back to the house to gather up what they could and to get the hell out of Dodge. And he said the local police were blockading all the streets to get the traffic flow to go to. I think he said the name of the street was Front Street, down towards along the ocean. For whatever reason, they're trying to block the roads. He wanted to get back to his house to save, I guess, his family and family and pets, whatever. They wouldn't allow him there, but he managed to drive over sidewalks, drive through yards, got to where he needed to be, got what was important to him, got back on the road, and again they had the roads blockaded, and they're trying to cordon all the traffic to block neck him down at the bottom of the damn street. right where the fire was. You know, they weren't directing them away from the fire. They were directing them towards the fire for whatever stupid ass reason. And you know, there's there are people talking about, again, I mentioned that about the billionaires. Oprah Winfrey, she was on TV. She said she is waiting for whatever purpose. She's waiting to make a large donation to the cause, and she's going to buy up land. The whole idea was these people billionaires want to buy the land and turn it into some kind of an electric island controlled by AI. And, and the people wouldn't sell their land. So also now this damn fire kicks in, and now they have nothing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if it turned out to be a land grab, if we ever do find the truth, I mean, we're still waiting for the information from the California with the sniper in the hotel shooting down into the crowd, right?
Yeah.
If we ever find out the actual truth, and it was for a land grab, and these hundreds of people have died because of it, someone should see just out of a prison cell. That's all I got to say for it.
Yeah, it would be very interesting. There are some fires going up in Northern California. I have two sisters that live in Garberville in the heart of Humboldt County, and they're telling me that there are some fires going. I believe some of them were out, and then 3 more sprang up, and I haven't talked to my sister. I have to try to catch her today and find out what's going on up there. But these are natural wildfires. These aren't someone went into the woods and set fires.
The sad thing about California comes to their, every year they expect the fires. Every year they kill the fires, the rains, the mudslides. It's a recurring, you expect it, right? But the thing with California is instead of conserving the water into tanks to be used for firefighting purposes, they're allowing the excess rainwater to flow back into the damn ocean. They're not retaining the water to be used for firefighting purposes.
A lot of people are in fact saving their rainwater, storing it and using it as their own. My two sisters are doing that. They have tanks on their property, and as they can move around, they get down and they empty tanks and move water up closer to. But and I personally am one who thinks that you should be able to. If it comes down on your property, it's yours, and you have a right to use it. You have a right to store it and use it how you wish. If it comes down on your property, and someone who can give us some input on that is Michael Anthony, who is a property owner as well as a great guy for facts and knowledge. And Michael, I appreciate you coming out of the darkness and into the daylight and joining us this morning. But bear with us for a second. I think he's on his phone, which he had said he had to do because he was up at his beautiful wood carving residence up in the woods. I know he had said he was painting that and getting that ready to go. And what's a good word, Mr. Michael? He's showing us the
new colors.
New colors. Yep, I saw that you painted one. Is the building that is blue, is that your home up there?
No. Well, that's the camp.
Okay. No, I meant.
And this is the other camp.
Okay. And,
I got a storage trailer up top. I got to do that too. But anyway, I am having trouble with connecting. So,
okay.
Anyway, let me sit down with the coffee here and hang out with you guys. Good morning, Randy.
Hey, how you doing?
I know you had said that from that location. Go ahead, Michael.
I mean, sometimes it's great when there's some severe storm last there. I mean, when metal chairs overturn and roll, there are serious winds involved because they don't weigh 2 pounds. They weigh like 40 pounds and they're blown. But I was checking out some of the stuff we're talking about. Back to Hawaii, leave. Like I said, let that dust. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep the mission as carbon instead, and we're not gonna stop. Remember those words.
All right. Now, Randy was looking at the screen, and he's all set and ready to translate that.
Yeah, I think we need a translator along the lines of the Biden translator to translate what you said, Michael. You're like every other word.
Was a little bit of pingy there, but Michael's doing his best. I know he said that where he is right now, he has to rely on his phone, and if the signal is not great, then the signal is not great. But we will try to get Michael back in either later in the day or perhaps we'll get Michael on when we have a 100% signal. I apologize for that because there are so many people out there that have information that everybody needs to get every day, and the signal where everyone is to where I am or where anyone else who's hosting is not always the best. So
and there's equipment out there that a host like yourself or myself could purchase to increase the signal strength coming in and so forth. But we are no budget audio broadcasters here, so we don't have the budget to buy stuff like that.
Yep, we don't either. Nobody does. Although the interesting thing I did hear yesterday was at Mike Lindell's thing was that they are going to have WMBs, which are wireless monitoring devices. And these are evidently small things that anybody is going to be able to have and go into where the area where votes are going to be counted and track internet signals and send them, I guess, down the line into the Mike Lindell network, and people that aren't supposed to be doing whatever they're doing related to vote counting or vote sharing or whatever are going to hopefully get into some trouble. I did hear, though, that again, there's still complaints that the Dominion and the SAS machines have ways that they can do what they're not supposed to do, connect to the internet. And the secretaries of state who are setting these machines up are giving county and city and other areas that are other areas of the election, the states in watching them. So, Michael, if your signal is clear, what do you think? 2024 is as screwed up as 2024? 2024 is as screwed up already as 2020 was?
2022, yeah. 2020,
no,
2022
was 2022 was a midterm year, and I'm sure that was probably screwed up. But I actually meant to say 2024 is going to become as screwed up as 2020 was.
Well, all the above. I mean, really, all the above. Like I said, they're not going to quit. They're not going to stop. They won't stop against Trump, although, there's some way leverage points for Trump now starting to work because of their stupidity, legality things. But it doesn't matter. They're not going to give us our country back. As I said to people, it's going to be a fight to the end. It's going to take every man, woman, and child. It's going to take all of the most sophisticated technologies we have and good people like Mike Lindell and others who have been fighting in this stage of this war. Here's the thing. They know if they lose, the cuffs are coming for them. They are not willing to give up their lives in this war. They want to win this war and stay ahead in it. There's things that can be done. And there are certain things that I believe will be getting done. But here's the key factor. Like going into, this November and the nominee for this, that, and the other. Look, they're going to do everything that they can. This is maybe more difficult than 2024. They want to make it look like DeSantis won. I know you guys probably say, oh, whoa, wow, that's a hit in the head. But
no, the hit in the head, actually, as you bring up DeSantis, the hit in the head was that he, as far as I'm concerned, literally stole something from the Trump campaign ads, although there was no campaign contribution mentioned in it. He's now willing to fly, or he's going to fly out someone or a pair of someone's to meet Governor and First Lady DeSantis in Iowa before the Iowa caucus, and be his guest at the Iowa caucus, which we all know is something that President Trump has done for a long time, but does often add a whatever you can afford to donate, and that clearly says that if you don't donate, you still have a chance of winning, because President Trump does stand up and say, honestly, if you can't afford to donate, please don't donate, and you have just as much of a chance of winning as everybody else. But that wasn't even what I'm harping between the two of them. It just seems that it's just a direct steal from something President Trump has been doing for a very long time. Well,
it's a copycat scenario. We all do it. A lot of podcasts do it. All media, news do it. It's the bobblehead syndrome. Like when people write to me and say, Michael, I'm working on something, help me out. I give them information if I have it. I don't always have it or have what they want. But the point is, if you follow good skills and they work, why not steal them? Make America great wasn't Trump's first. He wasn't the man that created that. It was Bill Clinton.
Yep.
So I mean, look, if it works and it fits and it promotes patriotism, they're going to take it. They're going to use it. They're going to run with it. And again, I'm not on any bad side here. I'm for the same side as we all are. I would like to see these people all drop DEA and the last letter to that, or some way that we could fight back to help that occur. But again, the science behind Mike Lindell, just to go back there, is pretty good. The point is, we're fighting $1 trillion industry of an industrial complex that has created something called space techs. And space techs is something that is 1 trillion sensors. They'll be able to pick up anything that Mike's doing and probably roadblock them. And I'm not joking with you on that. I mean, they have that step ahead. How it'll work out, I don't know. But I'm more worried about what's going to happen this November and who the nominee is. We know Trump's like 56 points ahead and DeSantis has fallen backwards. But look at the money DeSantis has behind him, and look at the organizations that follow within the Biden administration, the Joe Obama administration, the Clinton administration, and all these administrations, the Bush administrations, who were all still walking this earth, who are pulling the strings to, for this agenda to continue in the fashion it is. They're not prepared to lose. So I don't. It's going to be really interesting, to say the least. But where will we go with it? I don't know. Probably the same type of place as what we're seeing going on in Hawaii. I mean, they are taking steps forward to continue with their narrative. They don't care who they hurt. They don't love any of us. They only love themselves. It's not really about bloodline. It's about corruption. That's why we see these fat, ugly old farts still in Congress and Senate that've been there forever. They stay a party to things where they make things happen for their own lives to be better or for their constituents. And it's all come out. Trump opened the door for them to be able to convict themselves of their wrongdoings.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough call, a tough scenario. And by the way, Randy, good stuff that you found on all that stuff in Hawaii. But isn't it rather pretty amazing that all the rich and wealthy, none of their properties got touched?
Yep. It was almost like there's an invisible barrier there, keeping the flames away.
Oh, it's a weapon, brother. It's a weapon, like Michael was always told everybody.
Yeah. And I thought I've seen the worst of this government that we have, but it just, you wake up every morning, and I say to my wife, what's going to happen today? What are we going to learn today? If these people are that, I don't know, you can't discredit them. I mean, who would deliberately, and I think it was, deliberately set the fires to burn? And they probably started the fire not realizing, or maybe I'll give them a little maybe here. They start the fire not realizing that towards evening they're going to have 70-mile-an-hour winds come kicking in, and it's going to swoop those flames across the whole island. Because if it was supposed to be a deliberate fire to push these people off the island so they can take it over and do whatever they were going to do with it, with rich people.
Land grab.
The land grab, yeah. The amount of lives that are lost that they already know about and are still trying to find over 1,000 people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a land grab, deliberate fire set, then I want to see some people go to prison.
Well, I agree, but look, hey, Rand, here's the thing, brother. How do you fight a system who's in charge with an injustice system that prevails upon everything?
But Michael, did they just think they were going to light some things on fire, regardless of how out of control it went? They were just going to drop some bulldozers and bulldoze it into the ocean and not worry about any long-term effect to Maui and the other islands, as well as when this stuff starts washing up in Hawaii, which is big tourist dollars. It just seems to me like they plan an idea, they're gonna, and then it just seems to go over the top, whether they planned it to go over the top or it just goes over the top, and then they get caught with their pants down because they don't know what to do.
I guess in some case scenarios, how far can devastation go and how far can the weapons you control it? I think it was, look, if you go back 6 months ago, there were meetings about a smart city to come and about certain things that could help and not help. Why was FEMA removed out of the system to be able to offer any assistance? I mean, there was things that took place 6 months ago. This was all premeditated, just like 9/11. And if you want to know the names, it's Soros, Jr. and Senior. It's the Bush element. It's the Cheney element. It's the old names. It's the old names that are behind this significance of how the future will work. And as George Sr. once said, the New World Order will be our future. This is the old school calling the shots, with using the young to promote it and deceive and decept the American people and the rest of the global content of the world of humanity. And look, we're not just seeing devastations like we just saw here. Look across the world. Look across the globe. Look at the fires in other places. Look at the explosions in other places that are daily going on, and the floods. I mean, I just watched videos of it. This is a global catastrophe of events happening everywhere, being controlled through HARP and what's called the data radar. The data radar is a HARP component that is actually promoting these waves into the atmosphere while they're seeding, creating these devastational storms and more. And what better way to blame Mother Nature for a problem and them look innocent? What better way, for them to walk away innocently because they are promoting a weapon that has this type of technology? I wonder if we go back to the words of John Kennedy, where he said to everybody, we will have weather modification programs, but it was for the good. And he was being manipulated, signing papers. They knew where they wanted to go that long ago into this future where we are today. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But that's where this all started. And I'm not saying he was a bad man.
Yeah.
He may have had faults. He may have had a couple things in the Maryland in the closet, whatever. I don't care about none of that. It was the manipulation of how they utilize their strength, their techniques of power, and what they do to deceive us. And it goes on and it continues. But just keep in mind, there's other global catastrophes that the media is not reporting on that are just as severe. So these smart cities can be erected for the purpose of their element of what they think is democracy and greatness.
I just saw a video. I don't know who the lady's name was, but she was someone in Biden's administration, some old lady, and she was talking about openly talking about the fact that they have been and are currently seeding the skies to manipulate the weather.
But they've been doing it for years.
I always tried my best to give jobs, give more. If anybody listened to me, and I know you guys did at times, and I know not everything I said was agreeable upon, but when I said the key words, believe in the unbelievable, because it's going to be difficult. Why did I start groups called the cognitive dissonance? Because I was warning people of what I foreseen, and I'm not saying that I knew anything positively. I just saw the element of how they worked and what we needed to be aware of. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they're not hiding anything anymore, Randy. They're just not.
Right.
They are. They're not there in the open saying, "Hey, we don't care what you think."
They're not. But like you just said, Michael, some of it came around through what, at least growing up in California, we hoped was something good. They were seeding clouds when they saw clouds that had, some moisture when I was a kid, and they could get, maybe even just a glass of water out of it because we were living in such a droughted area. So, I mean, they got the technology, but then the technology, like Randy said, they just rub it in our faces, and now they can use it to control us. And you bring up FEMA was removed. Nobody's heard anything about FEMA lately, but that has me wanting to ask you a question. Is Secretary Mayorkas of the DHS, is he just a front man whose head is so far up his rectum, he's just waiting until they somehow take him out?
Yes, and yes. They're all front people.
Because, I mean, he's worse than Biden. He just doesn't know. It's like, one day he's sitting in front of the House or the Senate, and it's just one set of answers, and the next day it's completely opposite. And is he qualified? You and I have had conversations going back to somebody gave FEMA control of the U.S. a long time ago. And if someone gave FEMA control of the U.S. a long time ago and they still have it, Mayorkas has to be in their way, because he's just a Biden waiting to happen, the way I see it.
And again, they know the power of the dark and how far they will go. A lot of these people just can't walk away. They have to continue. They have a purpose, and if they don't serve their purpose, they have to worry about their families and everything else. Yeah. It doesn't matter what side you're on. They can destroy you financially, your reputation, and etc. Go ahead, Rand.
Yeah, I'm agree with you. These people, are so much locked in step, with the Democrat Party, that if they were to, step aside or change or just find their moral compass again, they have concerns about their family and their health, and am I going to suicide myself tonight? That kind of thing,
Yes, sir. They know the
I don't
rules
know.
of the game.
I'm going to ask something that I've been thinking about, but I've never asked, Michael. Is Mayorkas an agent of the cartels when it comes to the movement of illegal immigrants into our country? And I mean, I don't know if you have an answer or not, but
I do, because Dave, it all comes down to a shadow government. There's a government above our government, within our government, and outside of our government, and that's why. That's the answer. And that's the only philosophy I'll come up with, and only opinion I have.
Yeah.
And when you have that, you have strength. Trump called it the deep state. Let's drain the swamp. Well, you can't drain the swamp when you can't get to the entirety of it all.
Yeah.
You see, he had so much of a blanket of control, being a corporate representative, president of the United States. But let's face it, because we grew up thinking in school that the president was king, and it doesn't work that way. The laws don't let it work that way. Nothing let it work that way. It was all misled. So there was only so much anybody could do. Again, it's going to take every man, woman, and child, and we got to be on our toes, keep our defenses, line up, and never leave the election poll. So every phone cam system that's working out there, podcast system that's working out there, can show the world November, and that's going to be our strength. All this other stuff, again, we call everything agenda or this, but it is all that. It's a distraction. It's a demobilization of structure and consciousness and common sense. Take those words for what you will. It's going to be a hell of a struggle. Randy, look up, man. Look up, brother. Keep that happy smile going.
No. I'm looking at the comments here and see make sure we didn't miss anything.
I think a lot of times Professor Rhodes looks down because I can just see Randy being one of those who, like I said to Jerry the other night, there's got to be one of these times when you're just going to come on a broadcast and you're just going to look at everybody and you're just going to go, I can't do it anymore because I can't keep telling people the same thing every day.
There's Dave. Thank you. I mean,
Jerry and I
think I've done my part.
Jerry, you have, and I hate to steal one of your best lines, but it's true about you, where you paved the road for some of us who are doing this now, and others who have been doing it for a while too, where, I basically said to Jerry, what do you do? I mean, there are so many days that I sit down in front of my camera and my mic at 9:40 or 7:40, 6:40 before I go on. And it's like, what am I going to tell them that I didn't tell them yesterday? What are they going to tell me that they didn't tell me yesterday? How am I going to convince some of them that it's not going to be as bloody as other people say it's going to be? How do I convince them that they're not just going to come knock on certain doors and take certain ones of us away, and then the rest of you guys are just going to go bloody on everybody? And when they let me out, do I want to see how bloody it went?
The problem is this, Dave, is that most of the stuff that we talked about on these broadcasts is repetitive from the day before or that morning or that evening. But
from the first day.
But look at how the Democrats do it. The Democrats are brainwashing those who still follow them by the continuation of the storyline. That's why you have a dozen or more newscasters saying the exact same words, because the more they say it, the more people don't believe it. And even though it's false or fake and they know it, the mind says, well, NBC said it, ABC said it, CBS said it, MN said it, blah, 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 blah said it, I saw a newspaper. Well, then it must be real. Okay.
It works like hypnosis. It
I
really
know,
does.
but right. I mean, both sides are playing. Yeah, both sides are playing everybody against the middle, so that all of a sudden one day these people watching these broadcasts are just going to go off and take out the ones of us that are doing them, and that's not true. I mean, I don't think it has gotten to that point. Other than I'm still convinced that Meta and organizations like Meta bury us so far down that we're lucky if we get 10 people watching.
Right. And you know what? That's okay. I always said the day would come if only one ear hears the voice. That's all that's important. Collect and gather. But it is what it is, okay? And we are going to repeat, and we're going to match in many ways what the fake media news is going to do, and they kind of projected that they knew that would occur. That's why they let some of us survive and live out here, do what we do. They don't care that we're here because in their mind, if nobody hears you, you're nothing more than a laugh, And that, in a way, that's true. But hey, here's the thing. I think that we all have done our thing, and some of us at times have to step back, and possibly another strong voice will be able to take it and make something happen from it. But it's not what the voice really does. It's what the actions of the voice promote and create, because we need to do more. And remember, Dave, this is one of yours. You probably got it from somebody. There's words out there, the keyboard warriors. How much more can they do without taking action to do something more significant?
Yeah. Well, it's hard. I mean, I tell people there's got to be 1 million people, I hope, that are watching and seeing broadcasts.
And maybe there are, Dave.
I hope there are, but it gets to a point. It gets to a point that telling that same 1 million people every day, plug it into your groups, get it on your pages, get it off of Facebook and everywhere else. You can get it, and then you go over to all of these other social media networks, and there's nothing there. There's nobody talking about this.
The sad thing is that we're using the media format of those who are siding with the Biden administration. So they have the ability to silence us. They have the ability to hide our comments, hide our videos, prevent, a large number of people from seeing them and viewing them. And we can, as long as we can get on here and do what we do, it's like Micah says, if one voice hears, that one voice is going to tell someone else in their posts, or maybe they pass on verbally. I mean, look at history, okay? Before the written the written word, how did we find out? It was passed down verbally from or
painted on the walls of tents. I mean, the walls of caves that were torn down.
So we have to start going out and painting bathroom walls and stuff like that, with our message. Then that's what we have to do, and that's I've joined. I'm part of the Southern Independence Association, the SCV, which is the Sons of Confederate Veterans, and they recently made me their national chief inspector. And essentially, what I'm supposed to do is gather volunteers in the states to provide me with the names, addresses, and phone numbers of the politicians who are trying to destroy that which our forefathers have put into play. Right. Not just from the Southern heritage. Yes, that's a big part of it. Not just the statues and the Confederate soldiers and so forth, but we're also for the family morals. The one man, one woman. You're a male, you're a female, you're nothing in between. That kind of thing. So we're trying to get these people's names. We do have other, and I won't mention, I won't mention specifically, but we do have other legs to our organization who are part of what we call a rapid deployment, where we can send people out to rally around a Hillary or a Schumer or something like that and make noise, peacefully make noise, make our thoughts, open, say, look, we are the majority. We want the Christian values back, Christian Judeo values back. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't, start changing your tone of voice or changing your message, we're going to do whatever we can in our power to get you out of office. At the same time, we are openly supporting those politicians locally and so forth who support the Christian Judeo values and the desire to prevent history from being rewritten. So we do have political arm, we have a militant arm, and we have a social media arm, and together we're hoping to help change things, make it better in time for 2024. That's our goal.
Coming up on something with that, we have Hillary Clinton who destroyed 30 something thousand emails and may or may not ever get any justice for the American people because of that. Then you have Robert L. Price, who appears to be a pseudonym for Joseph R. Biden. How many of those emails are going to get destroyed before they get anywhere? And the other question is, do we even need those emails? Good morning, John Smalton, fellow broadcasting brother. I'm glad to see you here. And
yeah, if I can interject
go ahead,
for a
Michael.
minute. First off, Randy, great mission. Be careful what you wish for as you do your work, because that's like a bullseye on your back. Accepting that. I'm just saying, one can never be certain. We're fighting a system that we can't beat. Okay, at least not right now where we are and how things are going, and that is evident. When you have a new ground zero in Hawaii that's as devastating as it is, that the truth hasn't come out yet, but it will. Everything has a way to surface. But you wanting to basically track where everybody who is anybody that surrounds within them, that's a very dangerous scenario. And if we were to take action in a peaceful manner, when there's peaceful is different from our peaceful, right is wrong, wrong is right, you put yourself in a dilemma. So just proceed with caution and, be as safe as you can on how you do things and how you may share your information once it's gotten. You may want to go back to the old letter form and a postage stamp. I'm just saying. Yeah. So just be cautious there. Just be cautious there, because we can't trust these people.
He's cautious. He has his son and daughter doing security shifts at the front door.
Yeah. No, yeah.
No, I'm teasing.
But the sad thing is the left knows that. See, like I think you're saying, Michael, the left is in charge, that they have control and they weaponize the judicial system to support them. So they can do whatever the hell they want.
And we don't want martial law. They get their way.
Right. And they get away with it. And the sad thing is that they use violence to get their word across. Oh, and when we on the right try to do it peacefully through rallies, through literature, brochures, door knocking to support, a candidate for election, we become the target. And and they know that, and they're trying to use that to prevent people, unlike myself, from stepping forward and saying, enough's enough. I got to do something. If all it is my voice, it has to be my voice. I got to do something. I
get it. I get it. No, I totally get it. And I think everybody else does. It's just, remember, you become a target. That's all I'm saying. Hey, and look, one other thing I wanted to bring up. While Dave, I think, was talking about extinguishing and deleting and whatnot. Well, look what the J6 committee just did.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were we supposed to keep that information?
No, that's what our tax dollars paid to get them burnt. Yeah, our tax dollars paid to get them burnt, destroyed, and extinguished,
Buried.
whatever. But I'm just
Buried in a hole in Hawaii, except it exploded.
Remember, all I'm saying, it may be the safest place to protest is in the middle of a field, like a Woodstock.
Yep.
And that's all you can hope for. But can you get the support of people to rally around you enough to come out? And
No.
we see so many people fail. We see our own friends who have tried to promote strategies of support and have had nothing but catastrophic failure within them, and it makes people more nuts.
Michael,
People just waiting for that moment to vote and hope that counts again. That could be the possibility.
Michael, do you hear from people that are organizing things or people that even attend things that there is some fear, like you just said, of organizing? I mean, I know people on Facebook that have 40 acres of land and they set things up and do things all the time. But my fear that I want to ask them is, aren't you ever afraid that, you say you might get 10, 15,000 people to show up at your thing. Aren't you afraid that your 40,000 law enforcement that don't agree with you are going to surround you and take everybody in? I mean, do you hear anything like that from people who aren't going to these things?
I'll tell you what people have told me. We can get more people to come to a pig roast and a hee-haw than we can to a political event.
Yeah.
So, why is that? I mean, truthfully, why is that? Why are people so weak-minded? We're in, it's part of the educational system. It's part of the manipulation. It's part of the destruction of what took place. Why do you think all these student loans are going to be approved? Because they're buying votes. They want people to understand you'll have nothing and you'll be happy because you can rely on the government. That theory is not bullshit. That theory is about really what will help America for them to proceed to win and to gain what they want by doing it. And, us as parents, we may have to ask ourselves in some ways, have we failed? Possibly. We turned on the TV. We let our children watch things. They were learning more than we understood that we knew that they were learning. And in the educational system, same thing. But as I said, the truth prevails. Things come out, but just because they come out doesn't mean you have victory in any way.
Yeah. I got to ask you, Michael, a question that I've been burning to ask you, and you have to listen to the person's last name. Is President I was born in Hawaii a part of Maui, and why has no one gotten him in front of a camera and a mic yet?
As president? I'm not sure I heard that right, Dave.
Was President I was born in Hawaii. President I was born in Hawaii. That should tell you who I'm referring to.
Obama.
Was he part of what is going on in Maui? And why has he, the difference between him and Trump is out there saying, no, I didn't do this. And I've got proof that I didn't do it. And one of these days you're going to listen to me and I'm going to present you my proof and you're going to agree with me. But no, on the surface to all of what is going on in Maui right now, was President I was born in Hawaii a part of this? And why is he not out talking about it one way or another?
I wish I had all your answers, brother. We know who the guilty are. And I think that's where we should substantiate our efforts. And go with those theories, because honestly, your hunch, your gut feeling, your self-consciousness is your truth. Because of these, you don't need to be told.
I know.
I know you know. And that's what I'm saying. That's what everybody else needs to know and how they need to react and respond with everything.
It's hard to go find that.
That's the best I can say, because I don't have every answer. I just don't.
I know. I appreciate the answers that you do have. And I think people watching do as well.
You know, you
Go
know,
ahead, Randy.
I've said this a lot of times, and gotten shut down for it, and some agree, some don't. Um, but I think that if it boils down to this 2024 being the last attempt to legally um, vote in a leadership that we hope is going to be the way back to a more secure, more strong, freer, wealthier nation. And it goes the way I think it's going to go, which is going to be, some type of catastrophe is going to happen. I've heard conversations about there's new bioweapons being designed to be released in time. If it boils down to another catastrophe at the voting booth, and there's evidence that shows that um, this nation, the 80 million people who voted for Trump have already decided what to do. Um, and I think it's going to have to be taken back by force. My
Yep.
personal opinion. I do know that those on the South have been talking about, you know, um, legally looking, and I've said this to you before, Dave,
Go
to
ahead.
legally to try and separate the nations.
Okay, I just got to stop you right there for 1 second. Michael, is there any way of what Randy is suggesting that we split into two? Is there any way, not counting a blood war, but is there anything on paper if everybody just got together and said, yep, we bring this to the table, you bring this to the table, we're all going to just turn around in our separate directions and leave the table? Can it happen?
Yeah, theoretically, there are things that can be done. And that's why President Trump gave you the biggest hint. If you want my help while they were burning down the cities, all you have to do is ask for it. And Chicago was one of the cities that would not say that raccoon looking, whatever it was, person was not about to ever ask Trump for any type of help to make it stop. Because their message was to make it continue, to let America fall, to make Trump look terrible, to make it look like everything was his fault. And all he could do was stand by and say, all I need is your permission. So, yes, there are certain strategies of law that could transpire, that could make things happen. Why is our governorship of our states, of our red states, not already trying to do something like this? Again, maybe the people of the science of law know something more than us, and maybe the impossibility exists, maybe the possibility exists. But I foresee it as, yes, there are things that can be done. That's why people like Kristi Noem kept her state thriving through the whole pandemic. And remember, mutation, self-mutating. Isn't it really funny that they kept that StreamYard going of self-mutating? They want you to believe that this virus can self-mutate when it can't. It's all a lie. They keep it alive because it will serve a purpose in the future, as Gates even said. Just wait till the next one happens. So if they want to allow this, then they put their own people of the states in harm. When will they wake up to do something like that? But again, we have to do and proceed with caution, because we don't want to create a martial law without a proper separation. Maybe there's things behind the lines going on that we are just not being privy to. When it comes to some of these complications, maybe there are private sector meetings, or maybe there's not enough of trust within the private sectors of meetings for anybody to talk about it, for something to work. But our military is not going to help us. Our military's failed. It's political. It's always been political. That's why generals and admirals run for presidencies. I mean, it comes to a different criteria of where we are and what we're against. And I see no cure for it from the simple man. Let's say it like that. Can we make something happen, make something work? If we were 150 years ago, I would say, yeah, man has a chance against this. But the weaponization, the sophistication of technologies has surpassed the bullet. Like so far, and you just watch that in Hawaii. If they want to eliminate you, and they don't even have to be anywhere near you, because they can. And where does that put us? It locks us down in place.
Does Biden
and all we do is watch?
Does Biden have the military support to back him from that not happening, or is Biden running scared that the military might one day just say, hey, enough of this crap? Because I don't understand anymore. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other say the military just doesn't have the authority to put us into martial law. I have to talk to Jen, the homeschooling mom, to get the actual and factual, as William Rayfield would say, because we grew up being told in school, later years, probably college, that the military, if they don't like what's going on, there's one guy, one general, and they can do it. And I trust when other broadcasters tell me, no, it's not quite that easy. And, you're here now, so you can give me the answers that I know I would trust. But, for years we were told General John Dunsford, I believe is his name, is the one who makes the decision, and he can do it at any time. And now lately, 22, 23, 24, well, 22, 23, people are saying to me, it's not that easy. And no, one person just doesn't have the decision. So you're as I call you, even though I know sometimes you don't like it, you're the dean of the team right now. Give me your knowledge on what you know.
The commander-in-chief is the appointee.
Okay, so
there's nobody else.
Okay.
The commander-in-chief is the only appointee. There's no other organization unless it's a coup.
Okay.
The White Hat versus the Black Hat.
Right. So the military putting us under martial law would be a coup.
Well, first off, it would be the military doing it. It would be an executive order provided by the commander-in-chief. Then the exercise of the military would then occur.
That's not a coup. That's not a coup. That's the military. The commander-in-chief saying to the military, I need you to do this, and they're going to do this. But what I'm saying is the military can't go to the commander-in-chief, whoever they are, at any time and say, we don't like what you're doing. This is what we're going to do. And if they do that, that's a coup, correct?
Not exactly. Okay. It's when you hide behind your own government and create a power takeover.
Okay.
Bill Muckler would be able to explain it to you in much greater detail, but I'm giving you the definition of it.
Okay.
The theoretics of it all, maybe Bill would take you through a different type of strategy of information. But I actually had conversations with Bill.
He's a great guy.
I've done shows with Bill, just like you have. And I touched on things like this.
I unfortunately burned that
bridge. There is no other authority. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But let me ask you,
Derek Johnson, I know he spilled the heads of America with all these, but when you don't have military behind you to provide action of law, there is nothing. And it goes to the commander-in-chief. Anything about that any other way? And listen, Bill, getting back to Bill real quick. I mean, he does things with the most powerful people who ever had any type of position in the military. He's friends with a lot of these guys. And they have a lot of respect for him as an elder and as a war machine. No, we don't have anything like that. Your appointee is your commander-in-chief. He's not just a corporate executive. He's the head of all military, including space.
But didn't Trump do something before he left office with the military to put things in play? I thought there's conversation where he knew what was going to
Yes, he
happen.
combined them.
Prepared for it.
He combined them, but didn't that come back and bite him in the ass,
Well,
Michael?
that gave us
when he said to Pence, "That's not the way I."
not exactly because no.
Okay, go ahead.
How it worked for him was it gave him an opening legal spying platform to find out and get more of the information of what the Dominion and etc. was going and what they did. That's where the concentration went into. I knew what was going on about everybody. The problem was we had so many leaks in our military, they were able to double down on it all. And that's why Trump has made the statement, I now know who the enemies are. Because the military did not support him as commander in chief. They cooed him.
Okay, now you said the military. Would it be a more honest comment to say the commanders did not support him? I would have to think that the rank and file, knowing what he did for them as far as health, as far as medical, as far as raises, new equipment, bullets for the guns, planes to fly, tanks to ride. He did more for them, the rank and file. So would it not be more of an honest opinion to say that some of the commanders side with the socialists against Trump? But if it boiled down to the rank and file, I almost have to believe that they would stand behind Trump.
Michael?
Yeah, you would think that does come with great supportive numbers for vote and appreciation and integrity. But that doesn't change the heads of the military and what their ideologies are, and what their narratives are, what the agendas are. So keep that part in mind. Just keep that part in mind. I'm not saying that anything that you have just brought up is not factually true, and where he has support and how it matters and what it accounts for. The point is, it's the man at the top. It's the people with the badges on the chest that make all the final decisions. So whose side are they on? How do they vote? Did they vote Republican? Did they vote Democrat? Well, you will find out that a majority of all these politicians are Democrats.
Well, at the same
they
time,
are Democrats. They do vote.
But at the same time is that the military overseas.
The simple man votes Republican.
I'm sorry. The military overseas was having problems getting their ballots to vote because the Democrats knew that they would vote.
I don't know. I lost voice.
I think Randy was saying that he thinks that the military
Isn't that
overseas.
funny?
Yeah. Okay. It would be, yeah, it would be as hysterical as Trump.
I'm having a breakdown with the internet.
Yeah, it would be as hysterical as Trump being tens of thousands of votes ahead, and then all of a sudden Biden.
And he saw it on TV.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't buy it either, Randy, but I don't know what the answer is.
Every time, and right now with everything that's going on with his legal battle, the people on social media like Twitter and Instagram and True and so forth, they're replaying the videos from when the 2020 election. And every time I see those damn videos of showing how they were stealing the vote, it just raises my blood pressure. It really does.
I don't think people understood how bad it was. I mean,
I understand. I feel you, and we have.
Go ahead, Michael.
I was just going to say, you're absolutely right, and it's all documented proof. But again, there's a blind eye in America.
I think America's eyes are
Control
opening right
mechanism.
now. They just don't
Not
know what
everybody's
to do
seeing
with
this
it.
stuff. Just keep pushing it.
I think it's going to boil down, guys.
Yeah, really. That's the scenario.
I think it's going to boil down at the end of this whole thing is that until this country completely falls, that's going to be, and it's going to be too late, but that's when the eyes will finally open up and say, hey, damn, we should have done something. And it's been known to happen. Nations rise, nations fall. We are seeing our Roman days coming up here. And not only that, biblically speaking, let's bring the Bible in here for those who read the Bible. It's meant to be. If you believe, read the Bible and believe the word, it says, we will come to a point where there will be, an Armageddon, and that there will be, against Israel, there will be wars, rumors of wars. The Bible said about the weather, the weather conditions, the tornadoes, the earthquakes, the volcanoes. And, it's all coming more so now than it has in the past. So could this be, and the number of let's bring it in UFOs. I believe in it. Okay, I stand and I stand for history and for genealogy and the sanctity of family. But you know what? Damn it, I believe that those videos that they're releasing of the UFOs, the flying saucers, are absolutely 100% real. So. And there seems to be more of those happening. And the fact that the government's releasing them, I think Michael said in one of his broadcasts that they're trying to redirect us away from what's happening in the politics to say, hey, look over here. We have UFOs over here. Look over here, guys. Look over here. Don't worry about what's going on over there. Don't worry about, Biden losing his way. He can't walk on off the stage. Look over here. Look at this beautiful flying saucer over here. I believe them. And,
well, they always they need a blame mechanism. They need a blame mechanism. It's a convenience. But here's one thing I'll say, because I'm going to go because my phone just told me I had less than 5%, which means it's going to go dead. And I might why I say this. What you might want to rely on is don't think of the United States saving itself. What you might want to rely on is countries of the world, good countries of the world, taking out the bad, and that would restore our country and keep everything under law. And other countries know this. That's why they are trying to start a different Petro. That's why they are taking certain steps to get us into a different place for the future. People don't believe in this agenda bullshit that they believe in. So just keep that in mind. That could be a possibility is all I'm saying. Because if Russia creates this, or if Asia creates that, or if China does this, or if Ukraine does that, what I'm saying is there are people out there and countries more wealthy than America. The money giving all these countries has always been a game, a sham, and a part of the richness. Sharing wealth between leaderships, buying into the countries. But they could not buy into everything. And where they did buy into, they have been restricted. Because some people said flat out, because you gave us money, don't mean you control us. Yeah. And that's what we may need to hope for. And Trump has that those outside resources, because there are people out there and resources and distribution that make the clockwork for humanity go around. It's bigger than America. It's bigger than the United States. It's the entirety of humanity. Every man, woman, and child. Guys, I know I don't have very much time. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Right, wish I could be on more, but sometimes I really do feel like, how many times do I need to say it again?
No, but Michael's like I said, you have to keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it, for it to sink in, for people to realize it's the truth. You're proving yourself, what we're seeing now, what we talked about months ago on broadcasts. It doesn't matter, keep beating into our heads to where, actually sits there and stays for a while. And that's what the Democrats are doing. The Democrats are brainwashing those who are feeble-minded. I hate to say that, to believe what they believe.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going to hit you with one question
I
before your
understand.
battery probably
And
dies,
all we
Michael.
can do is keep good thoughts in our head and hope that the future works out that way.
Yeah. I'm going to hit you
It's
with
going
one.
to. So I'm going to cut out. Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right.
I had a great time, man. All right.
Thank you, Michael. Yep. All right. Michael Anthony, best way to keep in touch
All right,
with what
brothers.
he is doing. Yep.
Yeah.
Best way to keep in touch with what Michael is doing is to become his friend, the Michael Anthony Facebook page, and you'll see the broadcasts that he has done recently and other broadcasts that he has planned. And make sure you watch them and be a part of them and keep the dialogue going. And let's see. We're coming up on 11:30. I didn't ask you how late you can stay, Randy.
I got bounced, but I wanted to get on here. I'm just here for about an hour or so.
Yeah.
But the South is going to rise again. They are doing it. They're doing it intelligently. They're doing it correctly.
But Charlie Daniels is going to be leading the effort on that beautiful white horse.
Yeah, I don't know. Our Jack Daniels.
I don't know, Jack Daniels. I thought I heard Jack Daniels was going woke.
Yeah, they are. They
I didn't hear if they did yet. I heard they were trying to get them to go woke, but
they did. They bought into it. The family members of the beer company, Budweiser.
Yep.
They are in the attempts to buy back their company.
Yeah, they want to buy back Bud. Billy Anheuser wants to buy. No, excuse me, Billy Bush wants to buy, and it's not Jimmy Carter's brother. It's Busch. Yeah. Billy Bush, who is the, I guess, sole heir to the Anheuser-Busch company, wants to buy back.
And that's a sad thing, and I'll leave with this, companies who have a product or a service that, people want. Okay. Sometimes the only way to get the company to where you want it to be is to go public. And by going public, you bring in stockholders, you bring in board members and stuff like that. And you have to give up, a portion of every company. And at some point, the board members, outvote you, and you guys sit back and just collect that, that quarterly check. And there's nothing you say about the direction the board members have taken your company. And that's what took place here. They took it into the direction that the family does not like.
I don't see Bud Light going anywhere anytime soon, only because that favorite company of help, BlackRock Vanguard Blackguard, or whatever the name is. One day it's BlackRock Vanguard, the next day it's Vanguard BlackRock, but they own about 400,000 shares of BlackRock is the best way to call them. They own about 400,000 shares of Bud Light, not any. I don't know what else they may have at Anheuser-Busch, but they own 400,000 shares of Bud Light worth about $16 billion. And I don't see that going away anytime soon. But, if they can take a beer, make it woke, and sell it around the world, they're going to soon be sitting on 1 billion shares worth $32 billion.
Yeah, and the problem is that, I mentioned this before yesterday, is that, it's at a point now where, Hollywood, for the TV, the socialites, the singers, the broad, I would just love to know what the hell's in their head to make them think that, the lifestyle they've chosen or chosen to support or chosen to live is better. When everything shows,
it's better because they have the money and they can do whatever they want. That doesn't necessarily mean that doesn't necessarily mean that it's better.
You might be right about that. They have the money; they don't give a shit.
But if our government took care of us the way the way I've heard over the last couple of years that they were going to, that supposedly our birth certificates were sold to somebody for $100 million when we were born, and that your birth certificate is really a stock certificate worth $100 million, and that
my
when,
stock crashed, it ain't worth
well,
squat.
if it's true and the United States of America Incorporated is ever shut down and liquidated, then I've heard, you're going to get $100 million it's going to mystically appear in your bank account, that it's going to be $50,000 or whatever. And my belief is that it'll appear in my account the day before they turn on my CBDC, and the next morning, I'll be able to watch it go poof. But all right, Randy, always a pleasure. Tonight, I know a lot of us will be on the American Rebellion. There was a rain problem the other night, and they weren't on Wednesday. And I wasn't on last night just because the dogs were loud in Studio B, plus my legs and other body parts were hurting from physical therapy that I used the dogs as an excuse to. They weren't very loud last night. But I just didn't want to sit in the chair any longer. And every once in a while, so I apologize to America, every once in a while you have to just say, I need a night to get my head, get my thoughts together. So hopefully come up for air tonight around 7:00, and we'll see you over there, I hope.
Well, we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, 7:00 is the time that the two ladies in my household have decided to choose for dinner time, and
okay.
And I know that you guys. Oh, that's okay. Just bring your food and you eat while you're on video.
No, what we have to do is find a time that's good for find one time that's good for everybody. Because I always say that, find one time that's good for everybody, and then it ultimately turns out to be a time that's no good for anybody. So,
right, there you go. That's right. So folks, in closing,
yep,
I've still got some space on my calendar for some more clients at All Roads Lead to Home.
All Roads Lead to Home.
Yep. You'd be surprised what I can find. Last night I was working on this gentleman's and found out I'm putting it to him that he's related to President Bush. Didn't make him a happy guy, but
Which Bush?
All of them, because when you're related to one, you're related to the entire family line. But at the same time, I said to him that the fact, and this has been said many times, is that the presidents of the United States are related to royals, and that's God-awful. That's the God-honest truth. They are. If you look at the history, the genealogy of the presidents of our United States, they can all be tracked back to royalty. I don't know why, but it's a small DNA pool. Gotta go. Take care. The South will rise again. Take care. All roads lead to home.
All roads lead to home. All right, Randy. Randy's All the Roads Lead to Home genealogy services. As he said, give him 15 minutes and he can probably go back about 5 generations. I got to turn my voice down because they're working in Studio C today, not Studio B. The dogs have the morning off, but they're working in Studio C. So I have to make sure that my voice doesn't carry over into there, or make sure that I'm doing a broadcast on whatever they're talking about in Studio C. But they talk about real important things in Studio C. So we'll bring our voice down. Nice broadcast with Michael Anthony being here for a good portion of it. Randy Rhodes was here. And let's see, today is Friday, so there could be a rare 10 a.m. Saturday morning Boogie with the Bull. I don't know. It depends on what the schedule is around here. I haven't really thought that far. Tuesday night will be the next Boogie with the Bull uncensored broadcast, and I can't even tell you the date of that so far, but count on your calendar from today to next Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. There will not be a Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. that week, Boogie with the Bull uncensored broadcast, because I have to cut it down to 1 and be around to be on some other things. Let's see, Wednesdays, the American Rebellion broadcast didn't happen because the rain left Northern California, left northern Florida, and I think went down to southern and central Florida and really pounded Jerry Michaels, and Nikki Young was not feeling well. So that broadcast didn't happen. Then, like I said, Thursday, I went to physical therapy, and you know what happens when a 61-year-old man goes and does 45 minutes of physical therapy? Your day can be shot. And it was only because if you've done any kind of physical therapy, you know, sometimes you have to work on different things. And I had asked for balance and back because walking was giving me a little bit of trouble. Balance was giving me a little bit of trouble, and Alyssa did some fantastic things on my back, which seemed to have loosened up a muscle just to the left of my spine, if you're standing behind me, and definitely made some advances, so I will be able to work on those areas. It is tough going through life with Alzheimer's or, in my case, Lewy body's dementia, and you say to your family that you want to keep doing all of that kind of stuff and try to stay in the present as much as you can before things happen, and you're like President Biden and you spend a lot of time in fantasy land. I am going to close today's Boogie broadcast by saying you have to look at the Democrats' playbook and things they did in the past and things that they're doing now and laugh and wonder how much of what they did back then is what they're doing right now, but not enough to make it work the way they wanted it to. They never had any concern in 2016 that President Trump didn't bury Hillary Clinton in that election. Never had any concern with it whatsoever. Spent 2016 to 2020 trying to impeach President Trump on just about everything, whether they could or not. The Senate, which I think was Republican when he got elected under Mitch McConnell and then became Democrat under Chuck Schumer, who has it now, along with plus one Vice President Cam Zilla, and never did it. You have to decide if President Trump is elected in 2024, if that's what you want, if he's elected to a Democrat super Congress. If he's elected to a Republican super Congress, you have to hope that we have a great Attorney General at the Department of Justice. We have done major work on the Department of Justice for the benefit of the American people, and that we get there and get this thing fixed once and for all. In 2028, I can't tell you what's going to happen. I honestly don't have any idea. If you think it's going to come down to DeSantis Trump in the race to become the Republican nominee, well, if it does, it looks like it's going to be Trump. And then if you compare those numbers to the race between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, it looks like it's going to be Donald Trump. But don't get complacent and sit back and go, you don't have to do anything. It's all going to happen, because you never know. You never know. I'm not giving the Democrats any credit. I still think that there is that opportunity that Joe Biden will decide to take on Donald Trump in a one-time presidential debate. And, he won't have enough to win the election, but he'll come back and do something. I'm hoping really what happens in the Trump-Biden debate is that it goes down like this. Trump is just going to fire him with question after question after question after question after question, cut him off like I cut people off on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast. And Biden is just going to throw his hands up and go, I can't do this. I just can't do this. I can't think this fast. And I just don't want to do it anymore. And he's going to throw his hands up and he's going to walk out. He's going to go home. And I still have a question that as long as we have a Republican House and then the majority of the Senate together with the majority of the House is 2/3 of the Congress, and they just agree that based on law and evidence, they let Joe Biden go. Can you be impeached while you are President of the United States and President-elect at the same time? So let's just say Joe Biden wins the 2024 election. He is president now through the end of the 46th term as president, and Congress, the majority of Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, impeaches him. If they impeach him in the 46th, does that mean that he can't be the 47th president? So if we come in with Camzilla, well, no, because he wasn't inaugurated, does that mean that that election now becomes invalidated? And what happens then? But anyway, things to think about. Actually, and like I said, everybody is welcome to come on to a Boogie with the Bull broadcast. I leave the link on the screen so that you can see it, and you can come on. For some strange reason, it doesn't look like it shows up in the profile, in the live chat on my profile. So if you don't see it in there, just remind me and I'll type it in there, or we'll figure it out. We finally did break down and get our own StreamYard, and we're still learning some technical tricks that we never seemed to learn in the past. But we always want to make sure that the link is available. And if you don't see it on the screen, then let me know and I will type it on the screen in the live chat. We're going to be on the Dave Globin profile when we're live on Facebook, because it's just too much of a hassle to get everybody off of being a Facebook user if we send it into the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk public group and be live. So we'll post it in the group after the broadcast. We'll post it all over Facebook after the broadcast. You can go to the YouTube channel and take it while it's live on the YouTube channel and take it over to Facebook and share it everywhere you want. If you want to do that, all I ask is that you subscribe to the YouTube channel when you do that and help us grow the YouTube channel. And we're still looking around at Truth Social. It looks like for now the best thing to do is to take it over to Truth Social as a podcast and just put it on my profile, at Dave Globin, and share it around that way into the Truth Social news feed, and then go into some groups and post it in there if we can. We might have to cut it down from 2 hours to about an hour, and if we have to do that, then we'll have to do that, and that's all we can do. So let's see. You'll know whether or not there is one tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'll let you know later. It all depends on whether or not Studio B is available. And we'll wrap this one up because I just got a message and I need to make a phone call and take care of some stuff. So anyway, I thank you for watching. This is the part of the broadcast where we say you've been watching Boogie with the Bull Morning Caffeine, a wholly owned and copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. We own everything. We pay StreamYard. We don't pay me. We don't pay you to watch. We don't pay people to be on it. But, we're here to hopefully entertain and inform you at the same time. Equal time is given to responsible parties with opposing views, because if you see where it says StreamYard.com and the rest of the link, or we'll put it into the live chat if you don't see it, and we'll make sure that you see it and have it. And you can, if you wish, at that moment, come on and confront someone who has said something, or on the broadcast or in the live chat, and peacefully, calmly, rationally talk about it and see if we can work it out. You don't have to agree with everything you hear that comes out of my mouth or anybody else's mouth, or you read in the live chats, but you have to have an open mind that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So let's see. We've told you that. William Rayfield is the host of the Patriots Lab and the Patriots Lab Uncensored here on Facebook. Go in and join both groups. Look for his broadcasts and watch his broadcasts, and you will learn a lot, and you will be given an opportunity to share your views on things that are important to both William and to you. So please do that. Like I said, tonight, 7 p.m. downstairs on the American Rebellion blogger page, the American Rebellion with Jerry Michaels and Nikki Young and Jen Woodruff is there a lot. I'm there a lot. Daryl Rector is there a lot. And just watch. And you can be there a lot too, because if you decide you want to be on the broadcast, he'll put the link in the screen, and you're more than welcome to join and take part. Not always politics, not always everything else. So you just have to tune in and see whatever we are doing. I want to thank Melinda Brown Fortney for watching. I want to thank William Rayfield for coming in and watching. I want to thank John Smalden. Go to the John Smalden Facebook page. He comes on and does a broadcast when he can. Works a lot. So catch it, read it, watch it. Go to the John Smalden Facebook page, and maybe in the near future we'll be able to get John on. I want to thank Edward L. Hudson, who watches Boogie with the Bull, for coming in and watching. I want to thank everybody who watched on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And we said good morning to all of them. And Randy Rhodes and Michael Anthony for taking part in today's testimony. So we'll kick this one up and give you the double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is coming to an end. Red Friday, remember, everyone deployed. Remember, everyone deployed Friday, Red Friday. That's why we wear red. And we salute all of the members of the United States military who are deployed today. And we salute the wonderful job they do every single day defending the United States of America. And we hope one day that we will bring them home safely. And sometimes we are not lucky when we bring them home, and we have a responsibility to take care of their families for the sacrifice that they made, sending their loved ones away. And sometimes people come back broken, as I had said in the past. We're responsible for fixing them as best as we can and taking care of them. And a lot of things that it's easy to take for granted every day. But it's our responsibility. Anyway, make sure you catch the Bill Muckler broadcast Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. on the Bill Muckler Facebook profile. And always interesting commentary that you will hear from Bill, a retired Marine captain with a very interesting take on a lot of things that you need to know about. And he breaks it down into easy terms so that you can understand, not a lot of the high-tech fancy stuff that sometimes people drop in a broadcast to try to impress you. Bill wants you to understand what he's talking about. Go to 2020americabook.com, 2020americabook.com, or the Bill Muckler Facebook page, and take a look at the promos for his 2 books. If you buy 1 book at $20, you get the other book free. And it used to be if you buy 1 on your birthday, you get 1. You get the other book free. And then it became if you buy 1, you get 1 free. But help Bill, if you can, send him $40 for both books. Read the books, read the books, read the books, read the books. Like I said, a lot of what you will find in the books is stuff that he put into those 2 books 15, 20 years ago, and it is as true now as it was when he wrote the books. So just read the books. And maybe someday in the future, when everything is in the right place, maybe we'll get Bill on a broadcast. But go to the Bill Muckler Facebook profile Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. and watch the Bill Muckler Show and learn a lot. And then go to 2020americabook.com and buy the 2 books. I have them. And I have to find them because we moved recently and they went back into a box. I had them on the bookshelf in the last house that we were in. I need to find them and move them someplace where they are more readily available. But you buy the book and read the book, and I have the book and I'll read the book, and maybe one day we'll get lucky to have Bill come and talk about portions of the book. Again, I can't promise it, really can't promise it. But anyway, I'm Dave Goldman. You're not. Thank you for the privilege of letting me abuse your time, 1 hour and 46 minutes for today's Boogie with the Bull, which is not too bad. Anyway, Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull Friday is coming to an end. We'll hit that one. We'll come down to Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. And